Hey wonderful beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you want to see how I transform those candles into these, keep on watching. The first thing that I'm going to be doing here guys is I'm just going to be using some regular rose petals that I found outside my house, and I'm just taking out the small buds out of it. I'm just using a regular candle just to make it a bit more beautiful. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be adding the rose petal to the candle, and I'm going to be using our baking sheet to wrap the candle. And why I'm doing this is because I don't want to damage the candle directly. And then I'm just going to be using my flat iron. If you don't have a flat iron, you could use an iron or anything that's well hot, and you're just going to use that to seal in your rose petal. Now guys, when you're doing this, you do not want to leave the flat iron on the candle for a very long period, because you do not want to change the shape of the candle. So you're just barely running the flat iron over the surface of where you have applied the rosebuds and the baking sheet. So let's watch as I do it again. I just put my rose petals where I want the pattern. I add my baking sheet and I gently roll my flat iron across that area. Now you could design your candle however you want. You could put your rose petal wherever on your candle you want. However you want your design to turn out is totally dependent on you. So I just went for a simple design for this candle, and what I did here, I just added a leaf because I wanted to have a very realistic look. And as you can see, I'm going ahead again and I'm going to add another leaf. Now guys, remember, when you're using your flat iron, please do not hold the flat iron on the candle. Please do not press the flat iron together, because you do not want to change the shape of the candle. You just want to apply a little heat just to melt the wax a little bit so that it can seal in your leaves and your rose petals. Guys, this is a beautiful DIY. You can use it with whatever flowers, whatever rose petals you can find. Guys, you could just be flexible with this DIY. You could use thyme leaves, you could use rosemary leaves, you could use whatever is at your disposal. And again guys, remember that when you're sealing in your rose petals, you just want to go over your candle with your flat iron just lightly. You're not pressing too hard, you're just lightly rubbing it against your candle just to seal in your rose petals. Guys, this is a very easy DIY and it's beautiful. And this is what the final candle looks like. So next we're going to be using our candle and some wool thread. Now this is very inexpensive. You could get this at any clothing or beauty store. And what I'm going to be doing, firstly, I'm going to go ahead with my baking sheet again just to seal my thread into my candle. And what the baking sheet does again is that it protects your candle from being damaged directly, and your flat iron is just there to heat your wax a little bit so that it could melt. So I'm just going in with my flat iron and my baking sheet to seal in that thread before I go ahead and start my design. Then I'm just going to go ahead and wrap my thread around my candle. Now guys, you can design your candle however you want, however is easier for you. You could go ahead and do it. This is something that can be very flexible, so you could be very creative with it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process for my second color thread, and I'm just going to go ahead and wrap that around my candle. If there is excess thread, you just go ahead and cut that off and seal your ends, and there you have it, a beautiful design candles. Now you can use multiple colors, or you could just use a single color. Now for this next idea, what I'm going to be using is the same wool thread, but I'm going to be braiding it. And if you're not sure on how to braid, you need to use 3 strands. So I'm just going ahead and I'm just showing you how I braid the wool thread. And I'm just going to speed it up here a bit, and you're just going to braid your thread all the way down to the end, and then you're just going to repeat the process of sealing in your thread with your flat iron and your baking sheet, and you're just going to wrap your candle however you want it to be designed. Now you're just gonna seal it in again with your baking sheet, seal those ends in. You don't want your thread to be loosing. And then what I'm going to be doing here guys, I'm using these craft studs, and I'm going to be placing them on my candle just to bedazzle my candle a little bit. So what I'm going to be using here guys is a hot glue gun just to make some puncture holes so that I can insert my studs. You're not going to be using the glue from the glue gun, you're just using the iron, which is very hot, which makes it the perfect object to make the perfect puncture holes for your studs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and design my candles now, guys. You can design your candles however you want, and this is what it looks like in the end, beautiful and simple. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and use my studs again to design this candle. This time I'm not using any thread, I'm just going in with my studs, and again I'm using my hot glue gun to make the punctures so it's easier for me to insert my studs. And guys, this is simple, this is easy, this is beautiful. Look at that candle, just gorgeous. Now guys, for this idea, what I'm going to be going ahead with is I'm going to be using these pipe cleaners to design my candle. Now I found this candle laying around and I said, you know what, I could make that into a cute little butterfly, and so I did. Now if you have any candles that you just want to design to put in your room, just for creativity or just to look beautiful, you could just go ahead and make this design. So what I did, guys, I just used my hot glue gun and I made a puncture hole in the side of my candles, and I'm just inserting my pipe cleaners. And what you want to do is when you're inserting your pipe cleaners, you just want to insert it with a little force so that it goes directly into the candle. Then I'm going to be making a second puncture hole to insert the smaller wings. And guys, there you have it. And this is what our candles are looking like. They are simple, they are beautiful, they are easy, they are not time consuming, and they beautify your home. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please continue to watch for more creative videos. Bye.